What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today we're talking prime rib. Prime rib. And I guess the best way to begin this chat is to talk about what prime rib actually is and what it isn't. There's a lot of misconceptions about what makes a prime rib. So prime rib is roasted. It's not grilled. So it's not a steak, it's a roast. That's first off. Second, prime rib does not have to be prime, as in the grade. So prime has two meanings in the case of prime rib. The name prime rib derives from the anatomical portion of the animal called a primal, namely the rib. Makes sense. There's rib bones in it. So really, the more accurate name would be something like primal rib. Prime also means the grade of beef. So in the United States, we have an elaborate scale of grading for meat. And I think it's something like 8 or 9 different grades. Most of what you'll see in, say, the grocery store is going to be select or choice. And those determinations are made based on a cut between the rib section primal and the chuck section primal. Along the ribeye, they look at the marbling, and then oftentimes they use an image to determine through computer modeling what the grade should be. How marbled it is determines whether it's choice, prime. So they use an image, often with computer modeling. As I was saying before, I rode myself into a jam. They determine the amount of marbling on the meat, which is the intramuscular fat, that spiderwebby looking light pink to whitish colored marble. The more marble it is, the better the grade, or the higher the grade, because that's where all the flavor comes from in your steak. Fat is flavor. And intramuscular fat is different than the fat that's between the muscles. So back to the point of the grade, less marbling, you'll get like select, and then as you get better, you get into choice, and then the upper 3% of choice is designated as prime in the United States. Prime is our highest grade. You know, you can compare that with, say, a BMS of 6 or 7 in the Japanese scale. Their scale goes all the way to 13, so the genetics of their cattle is a lot more marbling intense than Angus here. Wagyu is different from Angus. It's just a different breed. So prime, in that second sense of the word, is the grade. You can have a prime rib that's choice, because a prime rib is the roast of the rib portion of the animal. So a little confusing, but to make a long story short, prime rib is roasted, tasty rib meat. It's what you would have for your ribeye steak, but roasted instead of grilled. So, point of this video is to talk about the best prime rib in the city, my favorite spots for prime rib. I guess we could start off with some of the big guns. The Grill. The Grill is part of the Major Food Group. You saw me do a ride and review there. They do that great cart, rolling cart, tableside service. They slice it for you. They put the juice on top. They shave some fresh horseradish, serve it to you with a nice Dijon cream sauce, just absolutely fantastic. Good throwback to the old days of you know, not Art Deco, mid-century modern type dining. A lot of traffic today. I ain't even in the thick of it yet. Next up, I would say Fort Charles. Fort Charles prime rib. It's kind of like the whole point of their establishment is that prime rib. It's good. It's gone a little bit downhill since, I would say, since like COVID-19. Now, I don't know if that means they're cutting costs or something, but I just noticed it's not quite the same as when they first opened. I always recommend their grilled ribeye to people anyway. It's just so much better than their prime rib. So flavorful, good aged flavor on it. But that's not to say you shouldn't get the prime rib. The move there, I think, is to get it English cut. And what English cut means is thin sliced. Now, thin sliced is not like deli slicer thin slice. You know, it's not like paper thin, you know, roast beef. It's a little bit thicker, I would say like 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch thick. It allows the meat to tenderize more because it's sliced. The muscle fibers degrade a bit when you slice it more, so it makes for a less monotonous, less chewy eat. So Fort Charles, go with English cut. There's also, let's see, Gallagher's Steakhouse. I did a ride and review there, and they ran out of the prime rib, which sucked. They run out quickly, so when you go there, try to go early so that you can get it. But the great thing about the prime rib at Gallagher's is that it's dry aged, and there's just a ton of flavor. When they wheel that thing out, when they bring that out, the whole restaurant smells delicious. It's just so awesome. Gallagher's, you got to do that one. Let's see what else. Probably my favorite steakhouse in the city, Keen's. Keen's prime rib is a monster. It can feed 4 people. The last time I got it, it was nearly 4 inches thick. It's got to be like 54 ounces. It's on the bone, roasted to perfection. It's an experience. It really is an experience at Keen's. If you've never done it, you got to do it at least once. It's a great historic restaurant. You've seen me do a ride and review there. If you watch the channel enough, you know I talk about Keen's all the time. It's really the standard bearer for me for American, New York City specific steakhouses. What a great place. So let's see what else. A lot of people are crazy about Smith & Wollensky's prime rib. And it's also dry aged there on site. I haven't had a great experience there. The first time I tried it, it was good, not great. And then every time I've had it since, there's been a problem. Either it's overcooked and dry, or practically raw and chewy, almost inedible, sinewy. So that's a bummer. Another great one to try is actually at a small bar downtown called Mr. Paradise. I think about once a month they do what's called Paradise Prime. I've done a ride and review there. If you watch the channel, you've seen it. They charge, I think, I got 90 bucks, and you get a full meal. You get, you know, your shrimp cocktail, your bread service. You get a salad, a nice tableside Caesar. You get your prime rib, a nice slab of prime rib. Not huge, but hey, you get the full meal for 94 bucks or whatever it is. That's a steal. And you get dessert and sides. It's really an unbeatable deal. Paradise Prime at Mr. Paradise once a month. Look for the ads for it. You'll probably see me post about it on Instagram if you're on there. Another great one. Let's see what else. More prime rib. Some steakhouses offer it like special nights of the week. Like Harry's has prime rib on the weekends, and it's great. But you know, you gotta watch your schedule. If you want to go out on like a Wednesday, you know, they don't offer it. So, but they do have the Wellington on Wednesdays, which is cool. And I think now they offer the Wellington all nights of the week. I'm not positive about that, but I've had it on non-Wednesdays very recently. And I guess a Wellington is sort of like a roast, but it's not prime rib, obviously, because it's tenderloin inside of that pastry. A bunch of really good prime rib spots are closed, unfortunately. My favorite of those was probably Maxwell's. They had a great prime rib there. Big ass on the bone. A little bit more on the unique side, Le Rivage up here in Midtown. You've seen me do a ride and review for them also. They have a very unique, the best part of the prime rib, the spinalis dorsi, the muscle, the cap muscle on the edges of the prime rib. What he does is he spirals that several pieces into a roast. I actually recreated that at home once, and man, it was awesome. I loved it. But if you want to get it at Le Rivage, you got to call ahead and request it special, because it's not something that's regularly on the menu. He has to order it. He has to order the spinalis ahead of time, and it's really for 4 people. You got to go with a group of 4. I mean, unless you're really hungry, he's going to make it for you anyway. But you know, if you pay in the way. But really, it's ideal for 4 people. Ask him nicely, because he doesn't like to make it, but Palms Anna come with it. It's a special French dish of thin sliced potatoes and cheese baked into like a cast iron pie dish. It's incredible. I think it comes with a green side too. I can't remember if it's broccoli or spinach, but man, that is incredible, and it's a must try if you can get that into your schedule. Contact Chef Paul on Instagram. It's Le Chef Paul. I think he runs the Le Rivage page also. Tell him Johnny Prime sent you. Tell him you want to try the spinalis pinwheel roast, and he'll make it happen for you. It's so good, I'm telling you. So I think that's about it. I might have missed 1 or 2, but my commute is done. So that's all you're getting from me. I hope you guys give some of these places a try. If you do, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and tell your fucking grandma.